Hi there. Thanks for coming. It really is a pleasure to see you. Today, I'd like to talk about the Indian or Vedic perception of God. And I want to refer back to archetypal forms that Jung talked about. The reason this is important is because if you understand what God is and your relationship to that, you'll get a lot more out of life. God is a unitary figure. God is something more than what we image. After all, He created the universe. And then other universes. And then that in the Vedas it talks about that manifestation of the universe is only a quarter of its total potency. So 3/4 of God is way beyond the mind. And the seers of the past realized this. So they decided that the best way to represent God is by parts. And we can understand that because our mind divides things. We can talk about a person and the surroundings around them. We've divided the person away from the unitary. Same way. God has parts so we can talk about it, can do things with it to make our life happier. You know, you have people like Mr. Toll who talks about being in the now. Well, the mind is here present in the now. It divides things. It does things. And we can express God through the mind or make a connection with the mind so it can make the connection to God. To do things, to be happy, to be present in the moment. And they divide God into a trinity. It's interesting to note that the Christian church also divides things into trinities. God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Well, only we have Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. These are archetypal forms. Shiva, the concept of Shiva is connected to another name of that represents Shiva called Rudra. And there's a lot of things to go on with that. Anyway, brief story. Brahma and Vishnu were arguing one day, saying who was the greater. All of a sudden, out of the earth, going up to the sky and beyond, is this fire. And they gave it the name the lingam of fire, or the phallus of fire. And they said to themselves, both Brahma and Vishnu, okay, we'll make an agreement. Whoever can find the end of this fire, pillar of fire, shall be the greater. So Vishnu says, I'll take the form of the boar and dig to the bottom of this. And Brahma says, I will become a swan and I'll fly to the top. So the boar went digging, 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 couldn't find the end. Finally, he turned around and came back. And he was all alone because Brahma was still trying to go to the end. Brahma couldn't get to the end, but all of a sudden, a flower that's used in services fell from heaven. And Brahma says, well, come with me, because he had already decided that he was going to lie and say that he had found it. Come and be the flower, which took the form of a little deva. Come and be my witness. And the flower said, sure, I'll do that. So they came back, Brahma with his flower as a companion, saying to Vishnu, who was standing there on earth, wow, you know, I went to the end and I brought back this flower from the end of the pillar of fire. And Brahma says to Vishnu, what have you found? And Vishnu says, well, I'm sorry, I couldn't find the end. So I guess you're the winner. Just then, out of the pillar of fire pops Shiva. And Shiva says, you didn't go to the end, Brahma. You lied. For that, I'm cursing you for all eternity, that people will not worship you. And to that day, that's true. There are no temples. There's only one temple in all of India where Brahma is worshipped. And he turns to Vishnu and says, because you told the truth, you will be honored like I will. And that ends the story. What does it illustrate? As archetypes. We are creators. What does this have to do with the law of attraction? Our creative abilities in some way tell a lie. So in order to think about the law of attraction and working with the energy that comes with that, you have to ignore your own creation. The energy can't be dispersed, it can only die out. So this is the archetypal story talking about the law of attraction, that you have to give energy to the destruction of the creation you already have. And